Hi everyone, welcome back to our Java series. So in the last video, we explored conditional statements including if, else, if and if, else, if with the real world examples. So in this video, we are going to breaking down two essential concepts, that switch statement and the ternary operator. Right, so this is very important in Java programming. So stick around as we also discuss the key difference between the switch and the if else statements. Right, let us start from the switch. Switch statement, it is used when there are multiple fixed cases. For example, if you want to printing the day of the week based on the number, or if suppose working on API based on the response code, need to send a message. For example, here, if it is a 200, then you are going to send a message request successful. If it is a 404, it's a different message. If it is a 500, different message, right? So the API response, handling, we are going to use the switch statement as well. Now, let us understand the syntax for the switch statement. So here we need to say switch. What are the expression? First we need to say. Within that open and close curly brace, we can add a n number of fixed, cases. So here case, we need to add a value. So value within that we need to add a code for the case one. Okay, we need to print or whatever the you want to execute, then you need to add a code over here. Then always we need to add a break statement, then case 2, case 3, something like that. Then we have to go with the default. Okay, let us write a code and understand how we can go with the switch statement. So let's start. Okay, now I say, now let us go with the HTTP status code. Okay, from an API. So now the response code, we know that we have a 200 is there, 404 is there, or 500 is there, like lot of response code is there. So based on the response code, we need to send a message. Okay. For example, I can say int response code equal to, for example, if it is a 200. Okay. Now if the case is 200, then we need to say, we'll start a switch case. Which here we need to say conditions, right? So response code, here we are passing the response code. So within that we need to add a case 200. Okay, here we need to add a colon. Down we need to print a message. So what you want to execute, you can add over here. So now if you want to print request success. Okay, so the same way, so always we need to add a break statement for switch case. Then we have a case break. So case if you are having a 401. Okay. Now if it is a 401, then we need to say then we have another message. So maybe unauthorized access. Then break. Case other case, suppose if it is a 500, right? Always we need to add a colon. Then if it is a 500, then you can say internal server error. Okay. See, these are all fixed cases, right? These are the fixed value you want to print. So that is where you are going with the switch cases. So now, if it is other than the number, what you have given 200, 404, 500, right? So other than that, then we need to say, we'll go with the break. We'll go with the default one. Default. Here you can say unexpected error. Okay, so this is the way we need to go with the switch statement. See, always we have a fixed, conditions and the messages also. So now, if I run this, here I have given a response code is a 200. So now let's run this. See, we are getting a request successful. Suppose if I go with the 401, now let's run this. See, unauthorized access. So if I give a different number or okay, something different number, this is unexpected error. Okay, same way if you want to handle the different build status in CI/CD pipeline, right? So if you are using a build status, then we have a different status. For example, if it is a success, then you need to call the method like deploy to production. If it is a failure, then you need to notify to the developer, right? And also if it is a cancel, then you need to send a message saying that build was cancelled. If it is other different messages, then you can coming into the default, then you are saying it is an unknown build status. So this is the way you need to use a switch statement. Okay, so if it is a fixed one. Now you might wonder like, if we already have a if else conditions for checking a value, so then why do we need for a switch statement? Okay, this is also one of the important interview question as well. They'll ask you why you are going for a switch statement instead of if else, right? So let us understand the difference between the switch statement and the if else in Java. Okay, let's see the example. So here I have written a one example. Here I have another switch cases as well. See this one. So now coming into this switch cases, right? Here we have a different coffee machine menu. Here we have a different coffee listed. So based on the number, you will be getting the messages. Okay. If it is other number like, 1, 2, 3, 4 is there, other than number, then you are getting a default message saying that invalid choice. Please select the valid options. Okay. This is one of the switch cases. So if you here in this, it evaluates each conditions, it's not going to check the each conditions, right? So switch making it more efficient for multiple fixed values because it is switch to the case directly, not one by one. Suppose here I have given a 4. In this case, it directly switch to the fourth case and it is going to execute. It is not going by the sequential order. But in case of if else, right? If else is always it is going to evaluate each condition sequentially, right? But switch is more readable for menu driven or multiple choice scenarios, right? Switch is a more readable one. If else is better for handling the complex decision making. Okay, then if you see switch is a very faster. You go to that another example I have given for if else conditions. See here if else, right? It evaluate each conditions. So first it will go and check the if condition. If the condition is false, then it will go to the else if. Then it is going to the another else part. So this is the sequentially it is going to. It is taking a time. But the better option, the optimized way is a switch case. So directly it will go to the particular case. Okay, it is faster when dealing with the many fixed values because of internal optimization. In case of if conditions, right, can be slower if many conditions are evaluated sequentially. For example, if you go with the coffee machine menu, first it will go to the first it is going to check the first condition, then check 2 and 3 and 4. Like that way, it is going to check one by one. Okay, then why we need to select the switch? Because there are, if it is a fixed choices. Here we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 fixed choices. No need for complex condition. Switch makes code more, cleaner and more readable. Okay, best suited when there are multiple fixed choices. Okay, if you go this if else conditions, right? Here it is best suited when conditions involve relational or logical operators. See here we have given a operators, right? We are checking multiple conditions. So based on the condition, it is going to print the value, right? Switch cannot handle the range based or complex conditions. So you need to understand the scenario, then you have to select switch or if else. Okay. So the final point is like, switch when dealing with the fixed discrete values like menu options, days of the week or status code, then you are going for the switch. If it is a if else, when dealing with the range based or logical or complex condition like age validation or user authentication or business logic, we are going for the if else. So I hope this is clear. Then let us move on to the ternary operator. So ternary operator, it is a shortened for if else statement. So shortened means first let us understand the syntax. Syntax is variable equal to, we can say the condition, then the question mark, then we have a value. First value, if the condition is true, it is going to print the first value. Then value, if it is a false, the next value will going to print. For example, I'll show you if you want to find the minimum two numbers, right? So I can say if you want to find minimum of two numbers. Okay, this is a simple way, but it's a shorthand for the if else conditions. Okay, so now I have a two number. For example, int a equal to 10, int b equal to I have a 20. So I have a two number. Now I need to find the minimum number of minimum of these two numbers. So I can say int, I want to store it in this variable minimum. Here we have a condition. See, the syntax is first is a variable and here we have a condition. So I'm saying A less than B. Then we have a question mark. Okay, now let's see A colon B. So meaning that first it will going to execute. I mean the condition is true, this will value will going to print. Otherwise this will go, I mean second value will going to print. Okay, A, otherwise B. Now here we have given a less than B. So A is the condition is true, the A will going to print. Now let's see. I can say minimum. I'll add a variable minimum. Okay. So now let's run this. Say minimum equal to 10. Now suppose I will be make it as 100. Okay, now what is the value will going to print? Minimum of 20. Why? Because if the condition is true, then it is going to print the first value, A variable values. Okay, if the condition is false, then it is going to print the B values. Okay. So for example, if you have in real cases, so for example, if you want to check screen size, like based on the screen size, you need to go with the different view, maybe the desktop view, maybe if it is a mobile view, you have to select. So in this case, what you are going to do, so this is a one line we can able to complete, right? Instead of going with the if condition, so within a one line we can able to complete that. This is a very shorthand for that if else condition. Okay, I hope this is clear. So we covered switch and ternary operator with the real world example, and also we covered difference between switch and if else as well. If you found this helpful, like and share it to your friends. Comment below on where you have used conditional statements in your project. Okay, and in the next video we'll discuss loops in Java. Stay tuned. Thank you.